Welcome to The Bookshelf, a magazine about contemporary spirituality that you can find out on my YouTube channel. All episodes are in English and in Portuguese. This one is recorded in English because it is a special edition. It's going to be subtitled in various languages, and the English is the common one. It is about a very special book. I hope you enjoy. Today's book is the Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch, written by J.J. Hertak in 1973 after an extraordinary event in his life. This book showed me in my life while reading the book from Dr. Eric Pearl, The Reconnection, Heal Others, Heal Yourself. Dr. Eric Pearl mentions 2 paragraphs of this book that is the foundation of the reconnection, the personal reconnection that we offer as a service. That is recognized by the author J.J. Hertak as really the reconnection that he describes and explains also in this infinite book. This book became a code that opens up slowly for the people that are trying to understand it. I had to take a course, meditate, read and reread along these years, 8 years now, and I discovered that this book is magic. I could explain to you all the stories I have around the Book of Knowledge, and probably I will. This book and our personal reconnection probably will feed a new series of videos in my YouTube channel. There is a lot to discover, there is a lot to learn, and there is a lot to grow while exploring this amazing, magical, universal book that we are going to hear about from a guest, Andra, an associated instructor also from the Reconnection, that was able to interview the author. So our special moment in this episode is her interview to J.J. Hertak himself and Desiree Hertak. Welcome, Andra. It's a pleasure to have you here again with me to listen to you about your experience around the Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch, and the interview that you have done to its author.
Thank you so much, Christina. I'm very happy to be back again with you.
You are an international instructor of the Reconnection for many years now. You are a very experienced teacher from whom I've learned a lot, which I thank you. We have in our company the Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch, that we feel like something very, very special. The experience I've had with this book, it has been amazing exploration of the mysteries of the universe. Can you please tell me what was your encounter with this book, just to bring people what is the importance of this book for you and for your work?
Sure. So you have a complex question. I will try to answer gradually because my interaction with this amazing book, I might say that it was gradual. I mean, it started like a small information when I read Eric's book, The Reconnection, Heal Others, Heal Yourself. So it was like a small information. I found out about this, and that's all. After I became practitioner of reconnective healing and personal reconnection, I wanted to go forward, and for that I had to apply for a training program. And one of the prerequisites of that training program was to get familiar with two chapters of this book that you showed everyone. And guess what? After I read these chapters, I was really so moved and inspired that I simply had the impulse to translate them in Romanian in order to understand more, to interact more, and to be more prepared for that course. And not only that, I was so amazed of what I discovered there in only these two chapters that I decided to read more, of course. But this is not the kind of book that you are reading like a novel. So the process, I might say, is an ongoing process. I can say that this really broadened my perception about not only our work, I mean our work practicing reconnective healing and the reconnection, but really expanded my vision and my perspective about the whole world, about the universe, about our role in this endless universe. It's something like you want to discover and you never end it. Thus, I went forward with our work, as you very well know. And after about 11 years, the next intersection with this book was more amplified this time. And in the beginning of the year 2019, I was invited to attend, guess what?
Future Science Academy with J.R. Talk and then
No, it was an invitation to attend the Romanian version of this book
even
release in Romania. You can imagine how happy I was. I was really, it was really like my dream came true. So it was really, really, really amazing. And guess what else? Uh, when I have been invited to attend, simply without thinking, I asked for an interview with J.J. Hartog. And I was looking at myself like from outside, daring to do such a thing. And I dared. And
isn't it? It's a thrill because it's so much wisdom that comes with them. And how did you feel energetically around J.J. Artak?
Well, it is a very interesting and very important and very elevating experience meeting them. I want to express my whole respect for who they are, for how they behave. It was amazing, this experience.
What do you think is the most common block that people find? Maybe a wrong approach to this book? Because this book isn't easy. It's not a book to read.
No.
It's not a book that, okay, I'm going to read chapter 1 and then chapter 2. No, it is a mix of everything. So it's a code in itself, and it opens up to you depending on the steps of evolution that you are in. I tell that I got the same paragraphs years following years. I go back to the same paragraphs, and I'm amazed because I some words that this word wasn't here, just like this changed the meaning. I'm seeing new things in the same paragraph. How is it possible? Like this, is this life? Is this book alive, changing the the word?
Well, I think this book symbolizes the whole universe, and in the same time symbolizes each and every human being.
Okay, so what is the correct approach to this special book? That is the suggestion I want from you. I know I have to respect it. I know I have to, right? I have to be humble. But what is the right approach to to make this book open to us?
Well, I cannot say that is a right approach. I think it is a personal approach for each and everyone. And we are definitely getting there and interact with this huge amount of information and possibilities in the moment when we are opened up to discover those things and to discover ourselves. And when we are opened up to evolve, to find more, and to live with the enthusiasm of discovery. And discovery in the most complete sense of this word, discovering everything.
Thank you. You said it all right now. So we have to come with the apprentice, very curious and open
Yes.
for the new. That is the approach for this book.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Christina, for inviting me. I am very happy and proud to be your guest anytime.
I'm very proud to have you for my guest.
And very happy to spend this time together with those who are looking to your amazing program. Congratulations for that.
Now we are going to dive into your interview with J.J. Artak. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christina. Today I have the absolute privilege to interview the famous doctors J.J. and Desiree Hartak, who are able to write this fantastic book, this source of information.
Well, first of all, I was interested in the questions of life. Why humanity is here on this planet, what happens after we die, where do we go? And so I asked these questions of many famous philosophers and teachers that I had. And so I began to experiment not only with one tradition, but several traditions, and using what I call the sacred names or sacred expressions of the divine in the ancient languages of the holy text or scriptures, the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Sanskrit, the Greek, and some of the Coptic. I had a very unique experience. That experience was a consciousness transformation, where I was able, in breathing and utilizing certain vibratory techniques, to create what some call a morphogenic door, a pathway where a new reality appeared. And physically and spiritually, I was able to go into this greater light, this greater paraphysical opening. This was not a channeled experience. This was an actual direct contact experience where my body was biolocated physically from this dimension off the planet into another dimension. Fantastic. I was brought back and my body showed, shall we say, light manifestations for several weeks. And during this period of time, I wrote and I conceptualized, of course, using a recording device, what I saw in terms of sacred geometry, sacred mathematics, a type of higher physics of consciousness, and the spiritual dimensions of what I was shown to be the next phase of the human race, that all humanity would have an opportunity to go into an accelerated phase of knowledge.
Right, this is so important because really what he was shown was that all areas of science, we'll say from even the geophysical, the subatomic, to the astrophysical, would take a quantum leap, because we really are going through a change at this time, and we need to understand who we are, why we're here, and where do we go from here. And I think the Keys of Enoch answer a lot of those questions.
You have so many historic realities, but you also have great spiritual realities that point to the greater life, the greater purpose of life. For our life is very short on this planet. In some ways, it's a schoolhouse for the greater voyage of consciousness. And so our work in the last 40 plus years has been to examine 64 areas of science and spiritual philosophy, directing the attention of all branches of the human race toward a unity, a perspective of spiritual and scientific dialogue and maturity, where the two come together. Okay. And humanity is blessed.
Great. So, in brief explanation, what represents this fabulous book for humanity?
What represents this? It's really the vibration of the divine spark within us, that we are all embryo gods waking up. to our life with the greater intelligence, what the indigenous call the star nations, the people of the higher worlds, what Mircea Eliade would call the myth of the eternal return, the return of the programmers or architects of life.
Okay. Have you met him, Mircea Eliade?
I was a student at the University of Chicago.
Really?
Yes. So I had the opportunity to know him as professor of the Sanskrit traditions, but also of the traditions of comparative religion, showing the background of how there are symbols and sacred expressions that are very important. But I had to go beyond the academic work because it was not satisfactory to me. It was only when I began to seek the purpose of life, to understand the nature of the divine spark, that I prayed truly with all my heart, mind, and spirit, utilizing what I felt to be the symphonic dimension within the human body, the blueprint we call the 7 chakras in the east, the 7 seals in the west, as a vibratory process of language and musical experience that I had this higher contact experience.
Right, so we see how all these ancient cultures really come together, and it's not that any of them were wrong in what they said. In fact, we want to highlight the fact that whether it's the Bible or whether it's the Eastern traditions of seeing other realms of intelligence is valid. In fact, we don't feel that there's a division between the science that we're learning today and the ancient wisdom. And that's part of the work of what Dr. Deck saw in his experience, that all of this is valid. We just need to take a quantum leap and realize, one, we're not alone in the universe. Two, we ourselves have higher bodies. I know that's part of the work you're doing. And that we are connected with those kind of, we call it the over self. Some people call it the higher self. And that's our interconnection. And what we do down here is only a very small aspect of who we really are.
We are ultimately homo universalis. We are universal humanity, waking up to the reality that our little schoolhouse is now changing and opening the door and the window for futurism that is positive. A graduation, an experience that will make us cosmic citizens. We are experiencing the true gifts of healing, the true gifts of unity between that part that would represent the scientific, the structural side of life, and that part which is consciousness change, the interior dimension of the heart, mind, and soul. So to put it simply, the keys represent the blueprint of a new science of consciousness, which is going to unify not only the East and West, but also the North and South. The keys of Enoch cannot be read as an ordinary book. They have to be experienced through sound, through visualization, and through the techniques of sacred geometry. We are beings of the human creation, but we're also cosmic forms of intelligence. More specifically, there is a syntony or inner dynamic in every cell of our body that sings just like a vibratory string. As some of the great thinkers and researchers, Dr. Pearl, who understood the importance of this key, have demonstrated that we are a vibratory process of life waking up into the greater body of creation. Beside our physical mind, we have a higher or over-self mind that orchestrates the way our body, on the biological level, on the periphysical level, on the mathematical and the musical level converge. Basically, our message that we're here to help humanity into this next chapter of life, the human evolution connecting with the higher evolution. Humanity reaching out, to use the expression of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel, and touching the hand of the divine.
I would say that the main thing that we're talking about, and I know that many of you have read, is the idea in Key 314 that individuals can be reconnected with the Adam Kadmon image through a resonance operating through hyperdimensional space. And in a sense, that is what we're talking about. Of course, the axiotonal lines are written in Key 317, but the idea of the reconnection to the Adam Kadmon, that is really this over-self.
Please explain us one of them. For instance, the axiotonal in general and axiotonal in particular.
So we're told axiotonal lines, reading from the vocabulary, vibratory lines which connect levels of human electrochemical activity with astrobiological circuits that span the solar system and are connected with resonating star systems. So there's what we call in the new vocabulary a inductive linkage of how our mind is connected with the vibratory processes of the universe. The axiotonal reality represents really the enhancement of the acupuncture grid system that is built into our body. Basically, as we follow the Chinese or the Tibetan or even the French history of acupuncture medicine, we see there are 12 basic meridians or lines of energy throughout our body. As we connect them with the, shall we say, the biophysical forces on each of the chakra levels, we are able to, so we say, harmonize the energy, the vibratory energy that we do not recognize in medicine until quite recent times.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any great story around the book and you want to share it, please contact me. I want you to share your story and your message in the bookshelf. See you.